it wasn't recorded. Great. Well, congratulations, everybody, on an amazing film.
Thank you.
How does it feel for you, Carson, to see your big film, on the big screen all of a sudden?
It's very nice. It's great to go from an editing suite, and I've seen it being colored, but in a theater. But even then, it's with such a small audience, just myself and a producer and a colorist. So it's awesome. It's great to see. I can't wait really to see people's reaction to it.
Yeah, because it's interesting because obviously mental illness is such a serious topic, but we rarely see, the kind of misfits play the lead roles, and kind of see their stories play out. And what I loved about it is that it had a sense of humor. So even though it was heavy, it's still funny. And I wanted to ask you, Olivia, how was it for you trying to balance the humor aspect of it as well as the serious nature of the circumstance that your character was in? As obviously she, without giving too much away, finds herself in a homeless situation and pregnant.
I mean, I feel like Bonnie is a bit of a straight man. She's not as funny and charismatic as Bill and Andy, and I don't know, she kind of keeps all of her feelings to herself, is how I thought of her, as somebody who holds all of her cards. And I don't think there was as much humor that I got to play with on this. It was kind of humor dancing around me the whole time is what it felt like, and I just got to like bask in it. But I just played it very real and grounded, and I feel like that is always the best way to play, even in a comedy. And if something funny comes out of it, that's where you're going to get the best comedy. It's not funny if you try. And so yeah, no, I mean, Bonnie's not a hilarious character. She's surrounded by hilarious people, unless you wrote her as a hilarious character, Carson, and I completely missed it, and she was supposed to be cracking jokes left and right, but no.
But
I don't even know. It's funny. I just write things as they come out, and then sometimes they're funny and then sometimes they're not. So I never do like a joke pass of my own stuff, if that makes sense.
But I think that's what made it so funny, was the contrast of, Bonnie's seriousness with your goofiness. That's what made it so funny. So I wanted to ask you, Ali, how did you get involved with the project? As I understand, you obviously came from a music background, and and now have segued into acting. How did it all start for you in the acting world?
Because Carson, Mel, and me, we are friends in real life. Mm-hmm. And actually, before this movie, we were supposed to get another movie made. But another movie, in movie business, is the nature of the beast. Sometimes we have to wait a lot of time in order to get the movie made. Sometimes we lose patience. And then one day I remember Carson said, LD, I have another script. Maybe we should be an actor. Mm-hmm. We should acting. Because one day, what if this movie become a hit? We become bankable actor. We don't have to wait other people around. We can just put ourselves in the movie. And then once Carson has this idea, maybe one day we can become a bankable actor. I got excited, and then I called Olivia. But in the beginning, I don't want to say it's me and Carson in the movie, because Olivia is a star, I have to say, Olivia, maybe take a look at this script, see if you like. And then she loved the script. I'm like, okay, me and Carson in the movie. Do you want to co-star with us? Basically, I little bit tricked Olivia into this project. But it turned out we are all proud of this movie. Also, this is my first time acting movie. I'm very happy with the both of them.
I love that. And one of the major themes of the film is friendship, and how friendship really stands the test of time, because obviously things happen in life, people come and go, but friends are forever. And I wanted to ask you, Carson, was that part of your main intention when writing it, to really showcase the power of friendships?
Yeah, absolutely. I've just been in, I think that it's very, very rare, that high school sweethearts get married and die together. I think sooner or later someone will go through the dissolution of a romantic relationship that is the center of their life, and without friendship, it's very hard to survive that type of thing. And friendship is what carries people through most of the hard times, especially if they're not blessed with a strong romantic partner. So that was definitely one of the things.
Sorry, now you're actually freezing, but I think it's working now. 1 second.
Okay.
Yeah, it's good.
Did y'all not get that?
I got most of it, but you were just saying how, in life, a lot of times people, perceive, love as, getting with your childhood sweetheart and being together forever. But you were saying that's not how it usually works in reality. And that was part of your intention, was to convey that.
Yeah, it's usually a rocky road for everybody, at least for a time. And friendship, I think, is one of the things that helps people get through that, especially for characters like this who seem to have lost ties with their families. Yeah.
And it also explored the theme of, when you are mentally ill and, when you are outcast from societies, part of the adventure that you all go on for the year is kind of, evoking crazy situations and being in all these, out of the ordinary experiences. And I wanted to ask you, Olivia, what is your experience with mental illness, and how did you put that into your character?
As far as Bonnie, I mean, I am somebody who has struggled with anxiety my whole life, and specifically social anxiety. And I chose to use some of that with Bonnie. And then, she's kind of a loner and has chosen, maybe has made choices in her life that has left her to be kind of alone in the world. And that's just something that I relate to on a certain level. And I think that meeting and making new friends is something as an adult that can be difficult. At least for me, making friends as an adult is not an easy thing. And I think that that's not easy for Bonnie. And when she meets them, she's not ready to be friends with them. She's reading them as, how can I get something from them? How can I, that's, she's in survival mode, and then gets charmed by them and eventually becomes friends with them. And I think that, it's something I take away from this movie, is how important it is as an adult to push yourself to become friends with other adults, because it isn't as easy as it was when we were younger. And if you're somebody who does struggle with social anxieties, or, somewhere mentally ill, it can be difficult. And Bonnie, because of these two fun guys, is kind of forced into a new territory, and it pushes her to be a better person. So I don't know. Yeah.
I love that, because it is so true. As we do get older, we are not as receptive to other people as when you're kind of younger and you haven't gone through any trauma. You are open to so many people and new experiences. But the older we get and the more you battle, you can close yourself off to the world. And part of what makes the movie so special, Ali, is that you do decide to try and find, a girlfriend, and in finding Bonnie, the whole trajectory of all of your lives changes.
Yeah, absolutely.
And what was it like for you, Carson, trying to balance not only being a lead in the film, but also the writer and director? How did you kind of do all of those three, to an exceptional level? How was it trying to balance all those hats?
Well, one thing I think about directing is that it's actually, I think it's seen as a very romantic job, yelling action and whatnot, but that's like the smallest part of it. And really directing, if you're like, I learned this by reading about the Coen brothers process, is it's just all homework for a low budget thing, especially figuring out how you're going to shoot things ahead of time. So a lot of the directing, other than directing the actors and the scenes, was done ahead of time in pre-production. So when we showed up, we had very, very solid plans, which would have to change a lot, of course. But I would say that was the main thing, just doing a ton of homework. And yeah, it was very challenging to wear all those hats. I think being in the scene, doing the actual acting wasn't challenging. The thing that was challenging was when I should have been maybe talking to my DP, I was changing costumes or things like that. Because of course we didn't shoot in order. And there are a lot of locations in this for indie movies. So it just required a lot of just running, literal running, running back to the trailer, changing costumes, going to hair and makeup. Yeah, I found myself in motion quite a bit. So,
and how was that for you, Ali? Because you were a producer as well. How did you go with trying to juggle the two of being a lead, as well as a producer?
Actually, I'm very lucky because I have two very good producers with me. One called Liz Destro, another called Amber Rapley. They were really, because they already foresee all this stress of me, so they carried all the producers' weight on their shoulder to protect me, in order for me to be Andy on the movie set. So I'm very lucky to have all these good producers on set to help me.
Yeah. And just before we finish, I kind of wanted to ask you, and I guess we'll start with you, Bonnie, and then we'll work our way around. What is it that you hope that people get from this movie when they watch it? I just called you Bonnie. I'm so thinking you're your character.
I'm sorry, it cut out. What you hope people take away from the character, from the movie?
Yeah, what is it that you hope that people, feel, or, when they do watch?
I mean, I hope that people are happy. I mean, I was very happy when I watched the movie, and I hope that they walk out of the theater or their living rooms into the streets with joy and a willingness to accept people where they are, and to maybe listen to everybody around them a little bit more, and to maybe listen to also what's in their heart and what beast is in them that's wanting to come out and not be so conforming. So yeah, I hope that people feel a little wild after they watch it.
Ooh. And what about you, Ali? What do you hope people get out of it when they watch?
Don't do bad thing in the end, because we all certain, nobody perfect. Sometimes we all have this little bit of revenge. It's like we want but don't revenge. Be lover. Be just. If you feel angry, wait for a couple of weeks. Things will be okay. Don't hurt the people. Don't hurt the people. Just love people. This I want people get away from this movie.
I love that. And to finish off, Carson, it's your film. What is it that you hope when people, come to watch? What is it you hope they're left with?
I think I'll answer that by saying something that Al and I realized, based on what Al said. We realized when we were talking about the movie, shooting it, was that this movie has a very similar structure to Joker, but almost the opposite ending, if you've seen that movie. So yeah, I hope they get the opposite of the theme of Joker.
I love that. Well, congratulations, and it's true testimony to you, Carson, because I know that your journey you weren't born in LA, you didn't have a bunch of media context. You have little by little, made your dreams happen, and I think your story is inspiring, as well as the actual story of the film. So thank you.
Thank you. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, everyone. Good luck with your interview.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dan.
Thank you, Dan.
You are a great journalist. Thank you so much for all the great questions.
Oh,
Yeah,
thank you.
Dan.
Thank you. Bye.
Thanks, Dan. Bye.
Bye-bye.